right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone, to the first session after the keynote. I hope you enjoyed the keynote as much as I did. I found it really interesting. My name is Ben Schneider. I'm going to take you through what you need to know for the transition to SAP Cloud ALM. With me here is Evan Stoddard, my colleague from the same team, and he's going to show you a demo for the readiness check later on. All right, as we only have 30 minutes and already are a little over time, I hope I'm not talking too fast. For any questions, as you might already have learned yesterday, we sort of squeezed the format of the sessions a little bit, so I'm going to be outside, either here or there. I don't know, there's a little table, and is it okay? It's over there. So I'm going to be outside afterwards for any questions if you want to talk to me on the topics. And from the whole setup, we are still working at this event in tracks, which means there are sessions grouped into different tracks. And this is, so to speak, the overview session of the transition to Cloud ALM track. So this is where I want to provide you with an overview on the topic, what you need to know. And then there are subsequent sessions in this track, which you find in the app when you filter on this tag or track, it's called in the app, on transition, and you find more detailed sessions on all of the different topics I'm going to talk about really quickly here today, or right now. You're going to find all of the different sessions which are going more into detail on the whole transition topic in the app, and you can go there if you need more information, if you want to go deeper in any specific detail. So that's the idea. That's also the reason why we shortened the sessions to the 30 minutes. In the last years, we already had a little longer session time, and we got the feedback that it would be nice to have something like an overview and then go into the deep dives and details in the other sessions. So this is the overview session. We start the track on transition right now with here with this session. And as I said, if you need details on any of the topics, please check the app. There will be deep dive sessions on many other topics around the transition for now. Does anybody not know what this date means in relation to ALM? The end of your job? Oh, I hope this is not true. I really hope this is not true. So what this date obviously means is that Solution Manager, as you are most likely all aware, Solution Manager will leave the mainstream maintenance at the end of 2027. What does it not mean, or what does it mean? I'm going to talk about in a second. What does it not mean? And I hope this sort of relates a little bit to your comment. It does not mean that Solution Manager will stop working on the 1st of January 2028. It will still run in the same manner and the same fashion as it did on the 31st of December. But there are changes, and I quickly want to sort of make you aware of these changes. So yes, we have the end of mainstream maintenance of Solution Manager. Just in a nutshell, and again, if you need more details, there might be more behind that, but this basically I copied from one of those two notes, which you have already also linked on the slides below. What does it mean actually? And what it means is there will not be any more support packages being delivered for Solution Manager after this date, so after January 1st, 2028. There's no guarantee for any technological updates like kernel versions or support of new database versions or something the like. There's also no new patches for ABAP components or non-ABAP components, so there are no further patches for Java, for example, coming on, or for the front end. There's no support for new interfaces. There are no guaranteed SLAs if you open a ticket, which doesn't mean we will not answer your ticket. That's another story, but there's no SLAs on that, so it might take a little longer if you open a ticket on that, which until it gets answered. And the last one is maybe very specific. So if you really find a new, never before discovered issue in Solution Manager, which has been around then by 24, 25 years, then the resolution of this issue might be something special you need to discuss with SAP support. But in general, I see that as a very low-risk thing, because really new issues coming up, they might have come up in the years since today. So This is what it means. As I said, it does not mean that Solution Manager will never work. You can continue to run Solution Manager, but these are changes, and you need to be aware of these changes. You need to understand, and of course, you need to plan accordingly, knowing that this will come, knowing what it means, and then planning your move to Cloud ALM. That's obviously the recognition or what we recommend to plan that accordingly. So the question is easy. What should you do now? And the answer also is easy. And this might sound a little bland, but we really recommend that you start to plan your transition to Cloud ALM. Maybe not today because you're here at the event, but as soon as possible, to understand what it means, to understand where to go. And I'm going to take you through what we offer you also to help and what we offer you to understand and to move forward as smoothly as possible. Yes, Solution Manager goes into or leaves the mainstream maintenance at the end of 27. That's something which we announced, I think, 6 or 7 years ago already. But for me, this should not, well, of course, it is a main driver to move, yes, because things change, because we need to also move forward with our software. But there are other, in my perspective, really good reasons why you should move to Cloud ALM. And I just wanted to list some of the benefits. And something might be really simple, but still. So what we offer with Cloud ALM is it's a modern SaaS-based solution for today and tomorrow, which means your landscapes change, your landscapes evolve. I think almost everyone somehow is on the way to the cloud, whatever that means in the individual situation, but things are moving forward, things are changing, and with Cloud ALM we need and we want to provide a modern solution for your ALM needs for today and for the future. The next thing is you can actually save, because Solution Manager you need to run on your own or by your hosting provider or your, I don't know, who's running your data centers, but someone needs to be there to run this system. And this creates costs in the end because it's a complex tool. It's a known system, it's a known stack, it has a Java and an ABAP stack and so on and so forth. So you need experts to run that, which all creates costs. With Cloud ALM, we do that for you. We run the solution for you, we operate it, we apply the patches or the support packages, so to speak. We also, you most likely know that, we do daily deployments in Cloud ALM. We update the functionality every second week, so it's also growing much more faster than we ever could with Solution Manager. So back in the days with Solution Manager, there would be some idea, we wanted to bring it to the customers, it would be somehow developed or designed and developed, it would be tested, and then it would be put into some support package, and this would be delivered, and you had to install it, and you had to test it, and then maybe the whole time would be 1 year between our first idea or 1.5 years, and this idea reaching you as customers, and we are much faster with Cloud ALM today. The next one, I think, is maybe more important than some people might look at this. It's a nice looking tool, at least that's my opinion. So Cloud ALM is a unified interface. It's streamlined, it's unified, it's easy to use, it's not so overcrowded like some of the UIs in Solution Manager. In Solution Manager we have different UI technologies from, I don't know what, CRM UI to Fiori to, we had Flash in there some years, so it was quite a zoo, and with Cloud ALM we are much more streamlined here. And also something I want to highlight here is the functional scope of Cloud ALM is way beyond what Solution Manager can ever do and will ever do. I know this is not true for everything and for all details and for all scenarios, but if you look at it from an overview perspective, you won't find AI in Solution Manager. We do not invest here. You will find all those nice and shiny UI use cases you just saw in the keynote from Michael in Cloud ALM. Also in the operations part of Cloud ALM, we are beyond wherever we were in Solution Manager right now already. So this is evolving, it's evolving fast, and it's just going much more, well, it's going further than we ever were in Solution Manager or will be. As I said, your AI use cases only are available in Cloud ALM. And also for setting up, for Solution Manager, to set up Solution Manager, you had like, I don't know, days, weeks, even months, I don't know. It depends on what you want to do due to the complexity of the system. In Cloud ALM, you request the tenant, 30 minutes later you log on, you need to do some basic configuration, lots of stuff we do for you already, or as you saw just in the keynote, we work on that to make it even more easier. So it's really fast. You can start working quickly. You invite your users just by adding their names to a project. They will get an email, they log on, they can start working. So this is also something which I find really nice, and there's no comparable, it's not comparable to Solution Manager. And this might not be true for all of our customers, but I always got the feedback, hey, I looked into Solution Manager, it looks quite interesting, we need that for some reason, but our team is small, there's no resources, we can't start using it because it's too complex. And this is what Cloud ALM really will not be. It will solve this issue in a sense that if you need, I don't know, test management, if you need solution documentation, if you need any of the monitoring use cases, just log in, just request a tenant, just go there and start working. So this is a completely different topic than it was with Solution Manager. So again, what do you need to do now? The first thing I would recommend everybody, if not already done, please run the readiness check on Solution Manager. So don't mix this up. We have our own readiness check. It's not the readiness check you know for S4 or something. We have the SAP readiness check for SAP Cloud ALM. You have to apply some notes on Solution Manager or install the latest SP, and then you can run these reports. You can upload them to the readiness check portal or to SAP for me or to Cloud ALM, and you can really directly and fully understand what you're doing in Solution Manager, which helps you to plan your move, because you need to know what you're doing today in Solman to understand where this goes and what you need to do the migration or to do the move from Solution Manager. So please, this is, if you would ask me, like this classical elevator pitch in the 2 minutes, if you would ask me, hey, what do I need to know? I would say, run the readiness check. Readiness check is the first thing to do to get the information you need, what you're actually doing in Solman, and then to understand what you have to do and where this all will go. Then, of course, request your tenant if you haven't done so. One thing which is really important is please use this tenant, either the one you request in your own environment or our public demo tenant. Please use this to learn, because Cloud ALM is not Solution Manager in the cloud. It's something different. It's a modern AI tool, ALM tool, and which we built on the knowledge of Solution Manager for the last 20 plus years, which we have. So please use this tenant to learn. Please use our trainings, our learning offerings. There are plenty of them in Support Portal, in SAP Learning, in other sources, so you'll find all of that. Please use that to learn and to understand how Cloud ALM works, especially if you plan a migration and if you want to take data with you from Solution Manager to Cloud ALM, which I'm going to cover in a second. You need to understand Cloud ALM, how it works and how the things are going before you start this move, because it will help you to do that more smoother than before. Then make a plan. We have also an Activate methodology, like a roadmap, an ALM roadmap or a transition roadmap for your transition from SAP Activate. So if you really need standardized guidance, please use the Activate methodology we have there. And there's some questions you need to ask yourself. Do you need to transfer data? This is relevant for solution documentation and test cases or test management data. Then you need to do something which we call the SDT, the selective data transfer. And if you need to bring data, then please use or make yourself familiar with the concept of the SDT. There's a lot of documentation, there's guidance, there's best practices available to perform this move successfully. If you're using Charm, Change Request Management in Solution Manager, you also need to just be aware that you need to maybe follow some special guidance. There's also a white paper out there. I have all those links in the slides later on as well. But you just need to be aware, if you're using Charm, you need to do some additional activities. You need to do some planning around that as well. First thing, so this was sort of the agenda for the next 15 minutes, and I'm now going to go quickly through all these steps again. First of all, I'd like to ask Evan to give you a quick insight into the readiness check, so you can see what's in there, what's going on here.
Yeah, so this is, again, it's you apply note 3236443 on your Solution Manager system. There's some steps that you have to do, but hold on a second. Is it in the? Is the link in the picture?
Okay, then we have
We have a
don't
different
have the
version.
latest version of
One
the slides.
moment,
Sorry for that.
please. I have this saved locally because I do everything old-fashioned. There we go. There we go. All right. And so when we show this to people, and a lot of customers are just learning about this because I mean, they're just starting to do their transition journey, and there's a lot of apprehension that they don't know what they know in their system. They don't know what data's been in it. The solution manager's been around for decades. And they're like, well, how do I know what data I have? I don't even know. I came into the job recently. So we show them this, and the wave of relief is fascinating. They're just like, I don't even have to know anything. It tells me everything. It's fantastic. So what we like about this is that it analyzes everything that's used in the solution manager system, all the different implementation use cases, all the operations use cases, and it says, okay, these are the parts that people have actually executed. And it also lets you override it. So if you go, well, people were using this, but we're not going to use it going forward, you can click off that it's relevant. So you have some control over the results. So this is really great for requirements management, for change control management. It covers all the different change types, all the different phases, all the different integrations. And so this gives you visibility about what's happening in the solution manager system, so you can scope out exactly what your transition project's going to be. I'm going to create the transition project in my session at 4:30 today in this room, so yeah, I'm going to do it live, the whole thing from beginning to end, so we can see how that's done. But this is a good way to start. And then we also then go and say, well, here's the Cloud ALM capabilities, and this is where we actually are like showing what it's called in Cloud ALM. And here's the equivalent usage in Solution Manager. And so this helps you, for example, we've called some things differently, like change request management is change and deployment management, and we have different things like this. And here we go in and we go to the availability of relevant, and so here's where we're mapping the actual Solution Manager scenario to where it is in Cloud ALM, and is it available today, or is it planned on the product roadmap, and then we take you to the product roadmap. So like all these things like test cockpit integrations available. And if something's on the vision, then we will take you over to the roadmap. But you can also filter this. So this is really nice. I can actually go here and sort things by business, by different use cases, whatever I'd like to do. So if I go and do something that's like in the roadmap, I can then click over here, and it gives me the Roadmap Explorer, and I can open that up in a new tab. But if something's available, it will then take me to some documentation. So here's all the additional resources, so you know exactly where you go. And you can just stay, everything is in here, including relevant services. And what also is really nice in here is that we're looking at scoping for selective data transfer. Actually, I skipped over one thing. I want to do the change request management part. This is, again, looking at the Solution Manager change request management. How many cycles do we have? How many systems are involved? So you can then start planning your change and release management orchestration in Cloud ALM. And whether or not you're using retrofit, for example, we're supposed to get retrofit pretty soon in Cloud ALM. I'm looking forward to that. So this helps you plan. Again, this is something that came out recently. So if you've done a readiness check last year, you should do it again, because we added a whole bunch of categories to the analysis since then. And then what I like about here is that the scope analysis for selective data transfer, and again, this is all Axel's area that he's in charge of. So this is where we're looking at all of the solution documentation in the Solution Manager. How many logical component groups do we have? What's in the design branch? What's in the different development and production branches? And here you can actually see what's in the libraries. And we have libraries now in Cloud ALM. And so some of the selective data transfer, we can actually move some of that content from the Solution Manager libraries into the Cloud ALM libraries. So that's something like, for example, executable library, we move to the application library. And also the process diagrams, we're also analyzing that. We can move those over. And again, just like Ben was saying, we can create a transition project with the best practice for selective data transfer, and it has a whole diagram, and it takes you to all the checklists and what things you do in which order. So this is all tied together to what we call the transition roadmap and transition planning that we have in our transition center, which is our homepage for all of this. Because that's what everyone's asking, is like, how do I find out how to do all of this? What's our recommendations? And so Ben and I are on the task force for the transition, so we're sort of helping everything get streamlined and organized. So do you show the transition center at the end, or should I do it now?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You can go on.
Anyway, so if something's on the vision, it'll take you to the Roadmap Explorer. So This is really nice. This is what we're planning on putting in Cloud ALM over the next up through 2026. Anything that's blue is already out because, again, we're pushing things out all the time. So if it's blue, it's already available, and if it's gold, it's coming soon. And we just organize it by quarters just because that's the way the tool is. But you'll see stuff in here for transition-related content, especially things like selective data transfer. You'll see how that's being rolled out. I think we're about 90% done with what we need to do. I think the documentation migration is the last one. So we have all of this guidance that's in the system for you. And then what I'd really like to do is just actually go into the support portal. Let me just pop over to here. And we have this site, Move to Cloud ALM. And this is where we have everything on what you need to know about transitioning to Cloud ALM from Solution Manager. We have all the steps. We have different recommendations based on what your current situation is, whether a regulated customer or not. We have comparisons about what goes where, so we help you map it just on the website in general. And then we also do things like saying which parts of Solution Manager aren't relevant anymore. We don't use SLD or LMDB anymore. So this is all done in the background with our landscape management tied to SAP for me. And some other stuff is like moving off to maintenance planner, like maintenance optimizer moved to maintenance planner. And the maintenance certificates moved to the SL tool set recently. So you don't need Solution Manager to manage those. Those are done by the host agent and the SL tool set. So all this stuff is sort of being moved to other places so that you don't have to manage it in Cloud ALM. So all of that is in one place on this one page, and we've been adding sub-pages as well, especially for the readiness check. So we'll actually tell you exactly how to execute the readiness check with a note and with the documentation. I think there's also a blog and a video as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, great. So thanks, Evan, for taking us through this. Again, if you need to know more about the readiness check, there will be a session by Gustavo later in the day. I'm just opening the app. There's also some more sessions from customers, and this is what I would really like to recommend. There are 2 great sessions from customers who moved from Solution Manager to Cloud ALM. So if you want to hear not only SAP talking, but also customers showcasing how they did it or how they plan to do it, please check the event app. There will be some sessions going on today and tomorrow for all of that. So I need to speed up a little bit, but Evan already showed a lot of that. So we can basically skip this step. If you don't have already requested your Cloud ALM tenant, please do so in SAP for me. As I said, I'm going to go quickly over that as well. We have the SAP Cloud ALM Learning Portal also in the support portal, which Evan just showed. It's another section there where you will find a ton of stuff to learn, from introductory webinars, recordings, to full classes or courses, which you can do for some days to learn about Cloud ALM as well. Then I sort of asked, or I asked myself, or you need to ask yourself some sort of, I call them special questions, like, do I need to transfer solution documentation? If yes, I already mentioned that as well. We offer the selective data transfer for that, which means you can bring meaningful solution documentation from your solution manager to Cloud ALM. I say meaningful because it needs to be, this is a little project in itself, so this needs to be planned, this needs to be looked at. There's a lot of guidance. If you need guidance, there's an EGI for that, for example. There's also other documentation. There's like a big document which takes you through all the different steps. So if you think, or if your organization needs to move solution documentation from Solman to Cloud ALM, we offer the selective data transfer for that, and there's all the details in there. And today or tomorrow there's also a session how to do that, how to prepare with many more details on that. Next question, as I already said, again, if you're using Charm in Solman, this also needs to be taken care of. You need to be aware of that. You need to plan accordingly to move. We have a white paper out there which describes how to do that in a, let's say, deeper level, but not maybe to the latest extent. We are still working on some of the details. As Evan already also said, some of the functionality our advanced Charm users or customers need, like the retrofit, they are not there yet in Cloud ALM. So if you are in that situation, you should not move right now, but you need to consider, you need to look into the information, you need to plan accordingly how to move once this is available, once this is or when you can use that. But I would say, at least from the discussions I have with customers, some of our Charm users could already move today. they might not even be aware of that, because Cloud ALM is very powerful in doing change control management, deployment management, and so on. So if you are in that situation, please look into that and see what your plans are, see what you need to plan, or see if you maybe already can move. Then I just summarized some more special cases, in the sense that not all customers do this, but we need to look into that if you are in these situations, and we offer also information and follow-up learning material on that. So if you're using Focus Build, there's more information on support portal as well. We will have something similar. So Focus Build, the idea was to have big projects going through with Solution Manager, being able to do that very quickly in Solution Manager. And with Focus Build, we will offer similar functionality, like having a more restricted workflow through all of that and so on. There is more information also in support portal. We plan to have that available by the end of this year, most of that, so you can work in a similar fashion. It's not Focus Build, it's not called Focus Build in Cloud ALM, but the idea or the spirit of Focus Build will be also in Cloud ALM, and you can work in a different way than you can do today if you need or want to do that. If you are in a regulated environment like pharmaceutical industry or something like, then you also have other things to consider. I'm not going into detail here. We have a special page in the support portal, which Evan just showed, for our regulated customers, where you can find all the information. We are still working on these topics. We're also working with our user groups and with customers from the regulated environment on the discussions on what they need to move from Solman to Cloud ALM. This is still ongoing. So if you're interested in working with us here, please reach out either to me, or there's also contact details on the website. So if you want to give some feedback on that topics, and if you are in that situation, then you are invited to reach out to us. And then there's some stuff which are called non-ALM functionality, which might be a little bit confusing, but Solution Manager is or was a very central system in many landscapes. So customers did use it for things which are perfectly fine, but which are not coming from our own little space in SAP, which means, for example, the license administration or the central user administration. These are things which are NetWeaver basis or like basis functionalities, and many customers do them on Solman because it's good to do so, but it's not Solman like core functionality. And if you are in that situation, please go to the Transition Center. There's also links to information from other parts in SAP, which will help you to understand how do I move a central user administration away from Solman, what do I do with the license administration if I don't do it on Solman anymore, and so on and so forth. And then I'm really I have to speed up a lot, sorry for that. If you need to make a plan for your transition, there's the Activate methodology, which gives you a very comprehensive framework on how to do the actual move, how to scale, how to define the project, what you need to consider, and so on and so forth. So if you need that guidance, please look into that as well. And what I find really nice is you can also use Cloud ALM as the project management tool to do this move. So you can set it up, you can bring in the content, and you can use Cloud ALM itself for doing the project management for your move from Solman to Cloud ALM, which I find really nice. So to come to a close, what can be next for you, or what should be next for you, of course, well, execute the plan. So after understanding what you're doing, planning, and then, well, executing the plan, which means if you're using operations, please move the use cases one by one, which is what we already told years ago. Start with operations, go into the use cases, and then just activate them, look into the details, and look if this suits you. If you're using a Solution Manager for implementation, you can just start looking into Cloud ALM to understand what you can do there. If you need to move solution documentation, please run the SDT. Please do that. Please plan this accordingly. And if you use Charm, please also look into that. Please plan this move and understand what you need to do. If you need any support, as Evan already showed, the Transition Center is our central page. We update this constantly. That's the first source of information where you find all the information. If you need more support, there's service offerings also from SAP. And also, and I want to really emphasize this as well, there are partners out there who can support you with that move. We plan for Q1 next year also a sort of certification type of thing. It's not an official certification, but it's something for our partners. They will be educated, and then they can sort of help you with the transition, and they will have guidance from SAP to do so. So if you need partner support, then please also reach out to our partner ecosystem. And then just quickly, there's a lot of more sessions on the summit today. So as I said, this is the starting point of the track. There's a lot more. If you need to know about the readiness check, please go there. Also, if you need to see it live in the booth, then please go to the booth later this day. Then the first customer presentation will be out also today. And for Charm, there will be something special on that for the standard use cases by the respective product owners, and then Evan will do the project in 20 minutes. So if you really want to know how to use Cloud ALM for the transition project in 20 minutes, please join the session later today. Let me speed up here. We have another customer session tomorrow. We have another session for the planning, for the test management transition, and also for solution documentation and how to move that and to consolidate that. This I already mentioned. If you are a partner, please reach out to us with this email address if you want to be part of this education program to help your customers as a partner to go on. This is not fully correct. We start a little later than planned, but this will start soon. So please reach out to us if you are a partner. Having said that, we also do virtual stuff. We have our monthly calls. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of webinars, a lot of sessions, also not only here at the event, but also later if you want to consume anything. And having said that, thank you very much for joining today. Please go to the other sessions for the transition if you need, and enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you very much.